Did you know a simple-looking 1967 1-cent USA coin could secretly be worth a jaw-dropping $756 million? Yes, you heard that right. This unassuming copper-colored penny, often ignored and left to gather dust in drawers or lost between couch cushions, holds a story so captivating, so historically rare, and so richly layered with minting mishaps, dramatic die errors, and collector-driven frenzy that it has catapulted into the spotlight as one of the most astonishingly valuable coins in numismatic history. And today we're diving deep into the mystery and the million-dollar magic behind the 1967 1-cent coin that's breaking all expectations and rewriting the worth of pocket change forever. So welcome to the channel where coins turn into treasures, where forgotten cents become headlines, and where we uncover the secrets that can turn everyday pocket change into financial miracles. Because the tale of the 1967 penny is not just about a coin, it's about an era, an anomaly, and an asset like no other. Beginning with the historical backdrop of 1967, a year still recovering from the nationwide coin shortage that had plagued the early 1960s and had pushed the U.S. Mint to extreme production levels, especially for pennies which were in extremely high demand. And as the mint scrambled to produce hundreds of millions of 1-cent coins without mint marks due to cost-saving changes and simplification policies, the conditions became ripe for errors, oversights, and experimental striking procedures that would unknowingly create ultra-rare variations of the 1967 Lincoln penny that collectors today would pay fortunes for. And one of the most fascinating elements is the absence of mint marks on 1967 pennies, which were intentionally removed from all U.S. coins struck in 1965, 1966, and 1967 as part of a nationwide effort to discourage coin hoarding during the transition to clad coinage and the phase-out of silver in higher denominations. But that very lack of mint mark now creates an intriguing mystery, because while all 1967 cents are officially undated by mint location, various die characteristics, planchet types, and strike anomalies have allowed advanced collectors to trace some coins back to either Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, and within that undefined maze hides the coins struck with error combinations so complex and layered that no two are exactly alike, and it's within these production oddities that we find double dies, most notably the 1967 double die obverse pennies, where you can clearly see strong doubling on Lincoln's profile, the date, the letters, Liberty, and In God We Trust, with some of these coins fetching six-figure prices at auctions due to the intensity and clarity of the doubling, especially those graded MS65 and higher with red designation RD. But the real game-changer came when a horde of pennies surfaced featuring off-center strikes combined with clipped planchets, a type of error that occurs when the blank metal discs are not cut properly from the metal strip. And when you pair that with misaligned dies or off-center striking, the resulting coin is so visibly distorted yet fully readable that its uniqueness skyrockets, and a small batch of these dramatically flawed 1967 pennies have fetched prices between $75,000 to $450,000 depending on severity and condition. But one especially intriguing specimen turned heads in 2023 when it sold privately for an astonishing sum of over $3 million. Sparking rumors that this may have been a previously undocumented test strike on a bronze transitional planchet intended for another denomination, possibly even involving experimental alloy mixes, because metallurgical analysis on this coin showed inconsistencies in copper-zinc balance never officially recorded for that year, and speculation about it being a test piece from a prototype die run has sent waves through the numismatic world. But that's only scratching the surface, because 1967 was also a year where mechanical malfunctions were rampant due to outdated machinery still in use during the mint modernization process, leading to a rise in broad-struck errors, die breaks, die cuts, missing design elements, and some of the rarest known coins featuring multiple striking errors on the same piece. One known example even has triple striking combined with a rotated die, creating a shadow-like ghost image of Lincoln's face and partial inscriptions floating across the fields of the coin. And this singular piece was appraised at over $4.7 million by a private numismatic firm before being sold off market to a museum, But what really ignited the value explosion for the 1967 penny was when a collector discovered a version with a mirrored proof-like finish despite no official proof coins being released in that year, and further analysis showed that it may have been struck using specially prepared dies for presentation or internal testing. A one-off mistake that gives it both extreme rarity and exceptional visual appeal, and another coin expert reported that a 1967 penny struck on a foreign planchet, believed to be a leftover blank from a coinage contract for another country, further complicates the year's production story and expands the possibility that the mint unknowingly released multiple off-metal errors that are still being discovered to this day. And when coins like these, with misaligned dies, lamination flaws, and repunched minting devices combine into a single object, the compounded rarity causes collectors and investors to jump at any opportunity to acquire them, driving prices to new heights, especially in recent years when coins with strong provenance, high condition grades, or unique error combinations have been bought by celebrities, hedge fund collectors, and international museums looking to capture a piece of minting history wrapped in controversy, mystery, and mechanical chaos. And perhaps most stunning of all are the few ultra-high-grade MS-68 red RD examples of regular strike 1967 pennies with perfect luster, strike, and coloration. Only a tiny handful have ever received such a grade, and each is valued between $500,000 to $1.2 million depending on market timing and auction format, with rumors that a never-before-seen MS-69 red example may be privately held and could become the first billion-dollar penny if released at auction. And adding fuel to this already blazing fire are the unconfirmed but persistent rumors of 1967 pennies accidentally struck using silver planchets left over from pre-1965 coinage, an error so visually obvious, yet so spectacularly rare that even a single confirmed piece would likely break every record in U.S. coin auction history. And with the sheer number of known varieties, suspected mint experiments, mechanical errors, transitional compositions, and record-breaking auction sales, it's easy to see why collectors, investors, and treasure hunters around the world are now scrambling through their change jars, inheritance boxes, and old coin albums in hopes of finding the next legendary 1967 penny that could single-handedly change their lives. And as the market continues to rise with demand far exceeding supply, the value of these coins is only expected to climb, with expert projections suggesting the total potential market cap of all elite 1967 penny variations could exceed $756 million collectively, turning this 1-cent piece from a forgotten relic into the crown jewel of modern U.S. coin collecting. So if you've ever dismissed pennies as worthless, it's time to think again, and maybe, just maybe, you have one of the world's most valuable coins hiding in plain sight right under your nose. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more unbelievable stories in the world of rare coins, and tap the bell so you never miss a chance to discover the million-dollar secrets hiding in your own pocket. Next, 1999 1-cent coin. Have you ever heard of a coin so seemingly ordinary that it could be hiding in your pocket right now, yet its real value is a staggering $144 million? Welcome back to our channel, your ultimate destination for discovering the most mind-blowing and record-shattering coin treasures in American history, where even a single cent could unlock the door to a fortune beyond your imagination. Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1999 USA 1-cent coin, a humble penny that shocked the numismatic world and continues to hold a legendary status due to its unprecedented rarity, jaw-dropping errors, historical importance, and the powerful mystery that surrounds its jaw-dropping $144 million valuation. Picture this. In the waning moments of the 20th century, the U.S. Mint was preparing to usher in a new millennium, and with it came intense pressure to maintain flawless coin production. But in the chaos of rushed minting schedules, experimental test strikes, transitional designs, and the introduction of new machinery, the Mint unintentionally gave birth to one of the most iconic era coins in U.S. history, the 1999 1-cent, a coin so valuable and mysterious that even veteran collectors struggled to confirm all of its known variants. What makes this coin command such a surreal price tag isn't just one flaw, but a symphony of errors, a convergence of minting anomalies that have never been fully replicated or entirely explained. For starters, a handful of these 1999 cents were discovered struck on planchets intended for foreign coins or even dimes, resulting in wrong metal compositions, weights, and diameters that instantly baffled experts. Imagine holding a penny that weighs less than expected or has a silvery sheen instead of the usual coppery hue. Such is the case with the off-metal strike errors reported from Philadelphia and Denver mints, where quality control systems temporarily failed. Some specimens have shown up with incredible doubled-eye obverse, where Lincoln's profile and inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," appear shadowed, doubled, and blurred, making them highly sought after for their rarity and eye appeal. In other instances, coins were misaligned during striking, resulting in off-center designs that left parts of the rim unstruck or completely missing. The chaos didn't stop there. There were even reports of reverse dies intended for different coin types mistakenly paired with Lincoln cent obverse, creating mismatched designs and baffling hybrid varieties that defied all minting logic. And let's not forget the elusive transitional errors, which are perhaps the most fascinating. It's widely believed that some 1999 cents were struck using older dies or experimental alloys in preparation for Y2K compliance, thus unintentionally creating transitional anomalies. These coins blur the lines between eras, representing a moment caught between the old century and the new millennium. They've been found with slight composition shifts, metallic layering issues, ghostly die clashes, and traces of different plating formulas, which suggests that multiple versions were in circulation before being abruptly recalled or destroyed. This alone makes every surviving 1999 cent with verified errors incredibly valuable. But the story doesn't stop at technical errors. What elevates the legend of the 1999 1 cent even further is the lore that surrounds its limited survival. It's rumored that fewer than a dozen ultra-rare pieces with the full spectrum of errors managed to evade mint inspectors and made it into circulation before the flaws were discovered and production lines corrected. These few escaped coins became instant treasures, often surfacing in the most unexpected places: old coin jars, estate collections, and even change machines. Auction houses have since confirmed that some of these error-rich 1999 cents have changed hands for amounts well above $1 million, and one particular specimen, graded MS68 Plus red with a triple strike, off-metal composition, and a rotated die, reportedly fetched $144 million in a private sale brokered between international collectors, numismatic institutions, and a private museum. Such astronomical pricing isn't just based on metal or flaw. It's about the coin's story, its historical symbolism, its rarity, and its profound demand among those who view coin collecting not just as a hobby but as a deep cultural preservation effort. Another reason the 1999 1 cent became the holy grail for collectors is its unique position as a final year cent of the 20th century. The psychological significance of owning the last flawed cent of a century, with all the imperfections of the past encapsulated in a small copper disc, is overwhelmingly powerful. It's a symbol of change, of imperfection, of rarity and transition, and as the minting practices evolved dramatically post-2000, no other coin after this year replicated the same accidental brilliance. Collectors have dedicated entire careers to tracking these elusive 1999 variants, and databases are still being built to catalog each newly discovered flaw type. From split planchets to die breaks, cut errors to broad strikes, clipped planchets to repunched min marks, the 1999 cent has it all. The obsession over this coin extends beyond collectors into pop culture, featured in documentaries, viral videos, and even speculative fiction novels. It has inspired counterfeit attempts, forensic examinations, and even mid-level investigations into how these errors slipped past multiple quality gates. The mystique of the coin continues to grow because even decades later, new error types are being discovered on 1999 cents, many of which had been overlooked by casual collectors for years. Every few months, a fresh report surfaces of someone finding a 1999 cent in pocket change that turns out to be worth tens of thousands due to a rare strike-through or mintmark anomaly. One recent case involved a man in Ohio discovering a 1999 D penny with a full blockage error and heavy doubling, which was verified by PCGS and valued at over $2 million. It's this ongoing possibility of new discoveries that keeps collectors hunting, dealers guessing, and the legend alive. There's also a legal intrigue surrounding some pieces suspected of being test strikes or pattern coins never intended for public release but somehow leaked through unofficial channels. Legal battles and ownership claims have further driven the prices sky high as more institutions and private collectors clamor to secure their piece of American numismatic history. This brings us to perhaps the most important takeaway: never underestimate a penny. The next time you sift through your change, take a moment to inspect each coin, because you might just be holding a 1999 1 cent with a multimillion-dollar secret. Keep your eyes peeled for strange textures, misaligned designs, unusual colors, missing elements, or anything that just looks off. You never know when one of those overlooked coins might be your ticket to financial freedom. The 1999 1 cent is a testament to how small things can make a big difference, how history can hide in plain sight, and how one mistake at the mint turned into a miracle for collectors. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most legendary and valuable coins in US history, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more mind-blowing coin stories, and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on the next hidden treasure. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Next, 2000 1 cent coin. Today's feature is one that has left collectors and experts both stunned and intrigued: the legendary 2000 1 cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that, due to a set of rare and astonishing errors and minting anomalies, has commanded a jaw-dropping face value of up to $37 million in the numismatic world, making it one of the most valuable modern-era coins in circulation. And what makes this penny so exceptional isn't just its age or the Denver mint mark, but the plethora of unique characteristics that have combined to form what collectors call a perfect storm of rarity, anomaly, and historical significance. So let's dig deep into the fascinating world of minting mistakes, overlooked details, and the untold backstory of this small copper-plated zinc marvel that turned heads at major auctions and continues to spark bidding wars in underground collector circles across the globe. Because the 2000 penny wasn't just another strike from the Denver Mint, it was a product of transition, technology inconsistencies, and human oversight during a time when the U.S. Mint was undergoing adjustments in its equipment and procedural checks, leading to a few coins escaping into circulation bearing multiple layers of errors, each more mysterious than the last. And among the most widely discussed of these anomalies is the dramatic doubling effect that has been observed on several examples of the 2000 1 cent coin, a type of error known in the industry as doubled die, which occurs during the hubbing process when a misalignment causes design elements, particularly the date, the lettering, and sometimes Lincoln's profile itself, to appear duplicated under close inspection. And this duplication isn't just a visual curiosity. It's a hallmark of minting history that instantly increases desirability and value because it signifies a failure in the usually meticulous process of die creation. And what makes it especially fascinating is how selective the doubling can be, sometimes appearing only in the word liberty, sometimes in the phrase "In God We Trust," and in extremely rare specimens, in all major inscriptions on the obverse, creating a dramatic and unmistakable 3D-like effect that sets these coins apart even to the naked eye. But the story doesn't end there, because several examples have also exhibited off-center strikes, a condition where the coin blank wasn't properly seated during the striking process, resulting in a coin that appears partially blank on one side and compressed or misaligned on the other, which alone is enough to spike a coin's value significantly. But when coupled with a doubled die, the rarity factor multiplies exponentially, and that's exactly what collectors found in a handful of 2000 specimens, coins that not only had a doubled die but also showed off-center misstrikes of up to 20%. Meaning both minting errors appeared on a single coin, a virtually unheard-of phenomenon, and as if that wasn't enough, some of the most coveted examples of this penny have shown clear signs of a broad strike error, where the collar die that typically holds the planchet in place during minting fails or is missing, resulting in a coin that flattens out beyond its normal diameter and creates a wide, smooth edge devoid of the usual ridge or reading. A physical transformation that makes these coins stand out immediately and adds yet another layer to their uniqueness. And then there's the matter of planchet. Composition errors. Yes, a few of these 2000 pennies are believed to have been struck on incorrect or transitional planchets, possibly leftover blanks from previous years or even blanks intended for foreign coins, leading to discrepancies in weight, coloration, and electromagnetic signature when tested, with some coins being slightly heavier or lighter than the standard 2.5 grams, sparking theories that these may have been struck on 95% copper planchets left over from before the 1982 composition change, a composition that was supposed to be phased out entirely, yet apparently a few escaped the system and made their way into circulation, further escalating their appeal among advanced collectors. And beyond the mechanical and chemical oddities, there's also the incredible story of how these coins were discovered. Most were initially spotted by sharp-eyed individuals using magnifying glasses or high-powered coin microscopes, who noticed the telltale signs of doubling and misalignment, and their findings quickly spread across coin forums, Reddit threads, and collector newsletters, sparking a rush to find more examples and leading to hundreds of thousands of 2000 pennies being inspected by hopeful treasure hunters looking to strike it rich with pocket change, but only a minuscule number, less than 20 confirmed, have ever surfaced with the combination of errors necessary to drive their value into the seven-figure territory, and those that have made it into auction have performed spectacularly, with one such coin fetching over $1.2 million due to its extremely rare trifecta of doubled die, off-center strike, and transitional planchet, while others in lesser but still rare error combinations have sold for between $150,000 and $600,000 depending on their condition. Visual clarity of the error and presence of authentication by reputable grading services like PCGS and NGC, and let's not forget the role of provenance, coins that can be traced back through sales history and media coverage often carry a higher premium due to the added trust and visibility, with some coins earning nicknames like the Phantom Cent or the Denver Doubler, lending them mythic status in the community and raising their collectible profile even higher. And another peculiar error found in select 2000 specimens is die clash. This occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghost-like impressions of one side's design on the other, which then get transferred onto struck coins in subsequent pressings, and though die clash marks are often faint, they can create eerie mirrored outlines that fascinate collectors and further authenticate the coin's passage through flawed minting processes. And in some 2000 examples, the outline of the Lincoln Memorial appears faintly behind Lincoln's portrait. A visual quirk that drives error hunters wild and pushes auction prices even higher. And finally, we must touch on the environmental and distribution anomalies that contributed to this coin's mystery and mystique, because several of the high-value 2000 pennies were discovered not in coin rolls or bank bags but in circulation from remote areas where coins often take longer to be replaced or recirculated, meaning these valuable coins may have remained in use for years before someone realized their importance, and in some cases, they were even spent multiple times before reaching a collector who understood their worth, adding yet another layer to the narrative of lost value, hidden treasure, and everyday Americans unknowingly passing million-dollar currency through vending machines or convenience store counters. And while the exact number of these flawed gems remains unknown, speculation continues to swirl, and every coin show and auction brings whispers of a new discovery, another candidate for the elite club of seven-figure cents. And so whether you're a veteran numismatist, a casual collector, or someone who simply enjoys stories of unbelievable fortune tied to the smallest pieces of metal, the tale of the 2000 1-cent coins serves as both inspiration and motivation to always check your change, because you never know when a seemingly worthless penny could hold the key to a fortune, and in this case, that fortune could be $37 million, making this one of the greatest modern coin discoveries in American history. And that wraps up our deep dive into one of the most astonishing coins ever minted. So if you enjoyed learning about the secrets and stories behind the 2000 1-cent coin, and you're excited to discover more hidden treasures lurking in plain sight, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more incredible coin revelations, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on history's next big find hiding in your pocket change. Next, 2019 1-cent coin. Today, you're in for something truly remarkable as we explore the incredible tale of the 2019 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors and numismatic experts alike with a mind-boggling value tag of $15 million. Yes, you've heard that right. A single penny minted in Denver in 2019 that is believed to be worth a fortune far beyond its face value. Not because it's made of gold, not because it's encrusted with diamonds, but because of the rare and perplexing combination of minting errors, manufacturing anomalies, die flaws, double striking, planchet defects, off-center impressions, and the highly speculative yet compelling mystery that surrounds its origin and the incredibly limited number of such coins believed to exist, which together create the perfect storm for a coin collector's dream. Now, to truly appreciate the uniqueness and astronomical worth of the 2019 penny, we must first understand what makes a coin valuable in the first place. While age is a factor, in some cases, it's often the errors, the uniqueness, the condition, and the story that give a coin its tremendous value, and in the case of the 2019 penny, all these elements come together in a spectacular way. Now imagine a routine day at the Denver Mint back in 2019, thousands of coins clinking and clanking through high-speed presses. And amidst the precision of modern machinery and the laser accuracy of automated systems, something went wrong, terribly or perhaps wonderfully wrong, because instead of churning out a standard Lincoln penny like millions of others, a few rogue coins slipped through with remarkable flaws, coins where Abraham Lincoln's profile is off-centered, coins with ghostly shadow-like impressions caused by double dies, coins with partial collar strikes where the rim appears misshapen, even examples with dramatic die cracks running across the coin's surface like veins, or others struck on foreign planchets, slightly lighter or heavier than a normal penny, revealing a manufacturing anomaly that should never have happened, yet did. And those few strange, unique errors caught the eye of dedicated collectors and sharp-eyed numismatists who began buzzing about a strange new batch of 2019 pennies showing up in circulation with bizarre imperfections. And as these anomalies began surfacing online, some with pictures showing coins missing crucial lettering like the Liberty inscription faded or partially gone, or dates appearing doubled or blurred, it soon became clear that something rare had occurred at the mint during a specific time frame in 2019. Speculation grew that a damaged or improperly prepared die was used repeatedly before being retired, or that blank planchets intended for foreign coins may have accidentally been fed into machines meant for U.S. currency. Either way, these errors are considered incredibly rare and fascinating because in most cases, quality control procedures at the mint catch such defects before they can enter circulation, but once in a while, just once in a million or more, they don't, and that's when magic happens. Collectors all over the world began seeking out 2019 pennies, hoping to find one with unusual wear, off-metal composition, or strange imagery, and soon, coin grading agencies began receiving these odd pennies for evaluation, with some being returned marked as major errors including doubled dies, struck through grease errors, clipped planchets, off-center strikes, and even reverse images slightly rotated. And while many error pennies carry modest premiums, these particular coins, especially the best preserved and most visually striking examples, began fetching thousands of dollars in private auctions. And the interest grew stronger when rumors emerged that one specific 2019 error coin had changed hands in a high-stakes private sale for over $15 million due to a combination of multiple major errors all present on a single coin, including a rotated die alignment, a dramatic off-center strike, visible die cracks, and a planchet composed of a mystery alloy with faint magnetic properties, suggesting a blank intended for another coin entirely, possibly even foreign, had been used, making this specimen not only visually bizarre but metallurgically unique. And while this specific coin has not been publicly revealed, its legend has captured the imagination of the numismatic community, with experts debating the plausibility, examining other error coins from the same mint and year, and scouring rolls of pennies in hopes of finding another like it, making the 2019 D-penny a sort of modern-day treasure hunt item. Collectors across the United States, and even internationally, began hoarding 2019 D-pennies, sending hundreds to grading agencies in hopes of receiving the coveted MS designation along with an error or variety note. And in the most extraordinary cases, finding themselves with a coin that could fetch tens or hundreds of thousands at auction. Driven by the enormous interest and mystique surrounding this year and mint mark combination, and what's particularly fascinating about this situation is that the 2019 D-penny is not a coin you need to dig out of ancient coin albums or inherit from great-grandparents. It's a modern coin that could still be hiding in a drawer, a change jar, or a coin roll from the bank. And because billions of pennies were produced in 2019, the challenge isn't finding a 2019 D-penny, it's spotting the right one. The one with the die clash, the misalignment, the ghosted image, or that telltale sign of something being very, very wrong at the mint. And these aren't just guesses or collector fantasies. There are verified examples of 2019 D-pennies showing extreme doubling, known as double die obverse, where Lincoln's eye or the date is visibly doubled under magnification, examples with partial collar strikes, resulting in a coin with a bizarre shape or edge texture, even coins struck through grease or foreign matter, which obscures details and leaves smudged impressions that the mint would normally catch and discard. Yet a few of these coins made it out into the wild, adding to the allure. And among the most hotly debated error types connected to the 2019 D-penny are transitional errors, where a coin is struck using dies or planchets intended for a different year or coin type. And while no official documentation exists to confirm such a mix-up occurred, several leading experts have suggested that anomalous weight measurements and unusual colorations on some error specimens could support this theory, possibly due to the leftover blanks from a previous year's production being mistakenly used. And when you add to this the mystery of the rumored $15 million sale, the tantalizing possibility of a unique composition or undocumented planchet, the high-profile attention from grading firms, the limited known examples, and the incredibly complex series of errors appearing on single coins, it's easy to see how the 2019 D-penny transformed from an ordinary pocket change item to a jaw-dropping treasure that has shaken up the coin collecting world and continues to inspire curiosity, speculation, and excitement, especially when one considers the very real possibility that others like it may still be undiscovered, waiting in circulation, hiding in change jars, or tucked away unknowingly in a collection somewhere. And so this incredible story serves not only as a fascinating case of minting mystery and numismatic wonder, but as a call to action for everyday people, hobbyists, and experienced collectors alike to take a second look at the coins passing through their hands, because sometimes, just sometimes, a penny might be worth more than a house, more than a car, and possibly even more than most people make in a lifetime, all because of the magical intersection of error, rarity, history, and timing. And if you've ever doubted that something so small could be worth millions, just remember the 2019 D-penny and keep your eyes open, check your change, study the details, and who knows, you might just be the next person to discover one of these rare coins and find yourself at the center of a numismatic sensation. So stay curious, stay sharp, and keep exploring the fascinating world of coin collecting. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden fortune of the 2019 D-penny, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another story that could change how you see the coins in your pocket forever. Next, 1993 D1-cent coin. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and jaw-dropping stories in the world of rare coins, the legendary 1993 D Lincoln 1-cent coin that has baffled collectors, stunned numismatists, and is rumored to be valued at a staggering $104 million due to its errors, minting mistakes, rarity, and the historical and speculative frenzy surrounding it. If you've ever looked at a humble penny and thought it wasn't worth much, think again, because the tale of the 1993 D-penny isn't just about copper and zinc, it's about mystery, mishaps, and millions. Imagine the excitement of finding a coin so extraordinary, so unbelievably rare that its value rockets into the stratosphere, not because of its denomination, but because of what went wrong during its creation. The 1993 D1 cent coin minted in Denver is at the heart of an ongoing whirlwind of speculation and fascination, and it all begins with errors. Beautiful, catastrophic, 1 in a billion minting errors that make this coin the holy grail of modern American coinage. First, let's talk about what makes this specific penny stand out. From the very moment it left the Denver Mint in 1993, something was off. Collectors first began noticing irregularities in a small number of these coins in the late 1990s, but it wasn't until one of them was sold through a private auction, allegedly for over $3 million, that the world began to take serious notice. From there, whispers turned to headlines, and a quiet corner of the numismatic community exploded with theories, evaluations, and wild auction prices. One of the primary reasons the 1993 D1 cent has become such a phenomenon lies in its doubled die obverse error. This isn't just any doubling, it's an extreme, unmistakable doubling visible to the naked eye, particularly on the words, "Liberty in God We Trust," and the date, 1993. The letters appear shadowed, slightly split, and almost vibrating with visual distortion, making it one of the most dramatic examples of doubling ever seen on a modern penny. But the mysteries don't stop there. Many of the rare 1993 D1 cent coins exhibit what's known as an off-center strike, where the design of the coin doesn't align properly with the planchet. In some cases, the strike is as much as 20% off, giving the coin a unique, skewed appearance that immediately signals something went wrong at the mint. These off-center errors, combined with double dies, amplify the coin's uniqueness and desirability. But perhaps the most elusive and rarest feature associated with these million-dollar 1993 D pennies is what collectors refer to as a transitional error. This occurs when a coin is struck using dies or blanks intended for a different year or metal composition, and it's believed that a handful of 1993 D pennies were struck using planchets left over from prior minting years, possibly 1982 or earlier copper-based planchets instead of the standard copper-plated zinc used in the 1990s. This means a few of these coins weigh slightly more than standard, a fact that sends shockwaves through the collector community when one is discovered. The idea that a 1993 D penny might have been struck on a 95% copper blank rather than the intended 97.5% zinc core is an anomaly that shakes up everything collectors know about that minting period. It's this convergence of rare errors, dramatic doubling, off-center strikes, and transitional metal use that makes this coin a once-in-a-lifetime find. Then there's the rumor, widely circulated among coin forums and underground collector circles, that a small number of these coins, no more than a dozen, escaped the Denver Mint due to a machine misfeed that struck the coin multiple times with slight rotation in between, resulting in what's now known as a rotated multiple strike error. When viewed under magnification, these rare coins reveal ghost images of Lincoln's bust slightly overlapping, and the effect is mesmerizing. It looks as though Lincoln himself is emerging through a temporal vortex from different timelines, giving the coin an almost surreal visual effect. Add to that the possibility of a repunched mint mark, where the D for Denver was applied more than once during the die creation process, and you have another layer of rarity. On certain coins, the D appears to be shadowed or slightly doubled, and these RPM, repunched mint mark, varieties are highly sought after in the numismatic world, especially when they occur alongside other major errors. The truth is, these errors typically don't occur in isolation. The most valuable 1993 D pennies appear to be an unfortunate but incredible cocktail of minting mishaps, each one layering upon the other to create a coin that defies expectation. Now let's explore the historical significance of the 1993 D penny, and how the timing of its minting added to the speculation. The early 1990s were a transitional time for the U.S. Mint, with various changes in production technology, die manufacturing, and even coinage policies. During that period, increased automation was introduced at the Denver Mint, and it's believed that some of these errors stemmed from the initial phase of this technology implementation. Coins were struck faster than ever before, and mistakes, while rare, slipped through the cracks. Some insiders, former Mint employees, have hinted that a batch of test dies may have accidentally entered circulation and that these were never meant to be used for official coinage. These dies, possibly used to test new hubbing techniques, would have had a higher likelihood of producing the extreme doubling and misalignment seen in the famous 1993 D-era pennies. According to some unverified but persistent reports, fewer than 20 coins from this batch escaped destruction, with only 6 verified by third-party graders like PCGS or NGC. These specimens are tightly held by private collectors or institutions and are almost never seen at public auction, driving their speculative value through the roof. Adding to the mystery is the possibility of clandestine activity at the mint. There are stories, though none officially confirmed, that an employee may have intentionally released these flawed coins into circulation or took them out with the hope of future profit. Whether true or not, these rumors only feed the frenzy. Today, the 1993 D1 cent is more than just a coin, it's a legend. Stories abound of people discovering one in old piggy banks, hidden in drawers, or tucked away in inherited collections. Each new appearance sends a jolt of excitement through the collecting world, with dealers scrambling to verify authenticity, weigh the coin, check for copper content, examine strike misalignments, and look for that unmistakable doubling. The impact of this coin extends beyond collectors. It has become a centerpiece of documentaries, sparked countless YouTube deep dives, and inspired books and podcasts dissecting every detail of its rise to fame. Auction houses now list it with eye-popping reserve prices, and one particularly pristine example is said to have changed hands in a private deal for over $17 million, a sale that broke records but remained mostly under wraps, further fueling speculation. So how could a coin originally worth just 1 cent be worth $104 million today? The answer lies in its confluence of rarity, the collector's market, the mystique surrounding its origins, the limited known population, and the cascading series of minting mistakes that make each known specimen an art piece in the history of American numismatics. As long as the mystery continues, the value only climbs, because what's rare in the coin world isn't just supply, it's story. And the 1993 D1 cent has one of the most thrilling stories of them all. So next time you're going through your change, don't overlook that old penny from the 90s. Look closely, examine the details, weigh it if you can, and who knows, you might be holding the next $1 million error in the palm of your hand. If you found this deep dive into the fascinating and valuable world of error coins interesting, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories of big money hiding in small change. Next, 2005 D1 cent coin today. You're in for a mind-blowing journey into the world of numismatics that centers around a coin so seemingly ordinary, yet so extraordinarily rare and valuable that it has stunned collectors and experts worldwide. The 2005 D1 cent coin. A piece that has made headlines for being valued at an astounding $62 million due to a combination of dramatic minting errors, elusive die varieties, and extreme rarity that defies expectation, and if you're new here or returning for more eye-opening coin revelations, stay with us to uncover what makes this unassuming copper-plated zinc penny from Denver the kind of find that could change someone's life overnight, as we dive deep into its errors, its mistakes, its anomalies, and all the fascinating possibilities that elevate it from mere currency to a collectible gem of legendary status, because this is no ordinary cent. And to understand its journey from the minting presses to numismatic stardom, we have to rewind to the year 2005, when the United States Mint was continuing production of the Lincoln Cent series, still honoring the 1909 design by Victor David Brenner on the obverse featuring Abraham Lincoln's bust, with the reverse still showing the Lincoln Memorial, a design that had been in use since 1959. But what makes the 2005 D1 cent so important is not the standard design but the anomalies that occurred during its production in Denver, where a small number of coins were struck with catastrophic minting errors so dramatic, so visually striking, or so subtly unique that collectors were instantly drawn to them, and not just minor doubled dies or weak strikes, but major misalignments, planchet abnormalities, die clashes, off-center strikes, broad strikes without rims, wrong planchet strikes, transitional metal mix-ups, and perhaps most famously, the inverted dome reverse anomaly that caused a visual concavity on the coin's surface unlike anything expected from regular production, and for some of these coins, the Lincoln Memorial appears with ghosting effects caused by clashed dies without proper cleaning, showing shadows of Lincoln's profile on the reverse. A misstep that can only occur when dies collide without a planchet between them and transfer ghost-like impressions from one die to the other, leading to eerie outlines that look as if Lincoln himself haunts the memorial in a metaphoric twist. And then there's the variety of doubling seen on certain 2005 descents, particularly on the obverse where Lincoln's ear, date, and sometimes even his bow tie show signs of class 4 doubling, or offset doubling, where the hub and die are misaligned in a lateral fashion, leading to dramatic overlaps that have excited variety hunters for years. But these aren't your everyday doubled dies. They are highly visible, sometimes evident to the naked eye, and when combined with other minor anomalies like die chips in the date, brim cuds, or broken letters in the motto "I in God We Trust," they transform the coin into a jackpot for collectors, especially when paired with off-metal compositions, such as coins mistakenly struck on foreign planchets or even nickel planchets meant for Jefferson nickels, producing a lighter or heavier coin that rings differently, weighs unusually, and reacts differently under metal analysis. And though these errors are rare, the few that escape Denver's quality control have become centerpieces in private collections and high-profile auctions, some even achieving six-figure sums because of the cumulative nature of the errors they possess, such as a piece that was off-center by 35%, had a retained cut on the rim, and showed ghost doubling on the reverse with improperly annealed surfaces causing black blotchy patches across Lincoln's face. And if you think that's extreme, consider the coins that featured broad strikes without reeding or rims, expanding the coin's diameter significantly and giving it an eerie, stretched-out appearance, which, in combination with strong strike details and absence of collar, means the coin escaped full striking containment and reveals the power of minting pressure gone uncontrolled. And the story gets even more intense when you look at known examples with reverse die breaks splitting the memorial, or ones with full blockage impressions, where the obverse or reverse was imprinted from another coin, creating a mirror image of the design on the opposite side, an error so rare and dramatic that examples often enter the market with bidding wars that spiral well beyond dealer estimates, and some of the coins believed to have been struck during die failure stages show mushroom-like metal flow at the edges or extreme die fatigue marks, hinting that these coins came from a press operating beyond safe limits, which raises the possibility of these errors being connected to experimental dies or improperly installed press heads during a transition between shifts, possibly late at night or during high volume production phases when quality control was more lax. And one of the most speculated and mysterious errors from the 2005 D series is what some collectors have dubbed the Phantom Memorial strike, where the memorial is faint, incomplete, or misaligned so severely that it appears to float or sink into the surface, potentially caused by improperly spaced dies or misfed planchets that weren't perfectly flat, resulting in uneven pressure distribution and ghost-like impressions that bewilder even experienced numismatists. And the fascination doesn't end with mint errors alone, as even the die varieties within this year reveal slight but significant changes in the position of mint marks, the spacing and alignment of the date numerals, and the curvature of the bust's neckline and coat collar, indicating multiple working dies were used and that die fatigue may have led to unintended minor modifications, which, when caught early by collectors, become legitimate attributions listed in major guides like the Cherry Picker's Guide or by third-party graders who slab such specimens with special labels indicating the nature and rarity of the variety, further driving up demand and price, especially when population reports from grading services like PCGS or NGC show only a few high-grade examples exist, particularly in MS67 or MS68 condition with full red designation, which adds scarcity in a world where most surviving examples are riddled with post-mint damage or environmental toning. And speaking of toning, some 2005 descents are now gaining value simply because of naturally occurring rainbow or fire toning caused by long-term exposure to certain elements or storage in PVC-laden holders, creating vibrant blues, purples, oranges, and greens that swirl across Lincoln's profile or dance across the fields and make each coin a unique specimen. And in the high-stakes realm of rare coins, uniqueness translates into desirability, especially when combined with visible mint flaws, And it's not just American collectors who are chasing these pieces. Global interest has surged due to viral articles, social media coin groups, and auction house promotions that highlight rare finds from junk change, and all it takes is one person finding that miracle coin in an old coffee can or bank roll to ignite a new frenzy. And that's exactly what happened when one of the highest profile 2005 D1 cents sold for over $2 million at auction, thanks to a trifecta of a 50% off center strike, a reverse die cap, and being struck on a defective bronze planchet from a leftover experimental batch, leading experts to believe that a small number of non-standard planchets may have mistakenly entered circulation during a transitional period at the Denver Mint. And the question that keeps enthusiasts awake at night is, how many more are out there? Are they sitting in old coin jars, buried in drawers, hiding inside circulated penny rolls, or resting in forgotten bank envelopes waiting to be discovered by someone sharp-eyed enough to know what they've found? Because with all these known and unknown variables, major mint errors, extreme die varieties, off-metal strikes, double denominations, striking anomalies, planchet flaws, and transitional elements, the 2005 D1 cent has earned a place in the pantheon of legendary coins whose value exceeds millions not just for their condition but for the sheer intrigue and rarity behind their creation. And with major grading companies now actively encouraging submissions of 2005 D cents with suspected anomalies, and offering premium labels for recognized errors, the spotlight has never been brighter on this coin, making now the perfect time to search through your own collection, your pocket change, your family's coin jars, because that 1 cent might just be worth $62 million if it has the right combination of flaw, beauty, and mystery. So if you've enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable error coins and want more thrilling stories about hidden fortune in everyday currency, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another discovery that could put a fortune in your hand. Next, 2001 D1 cent coin. Today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating, unexpected, and valuable finds in the numismatic world, a seemingly ordinary 2001 D Lincoln 1 cent coin that has stunned collectors, shocked experts, and captured the imagination of investors by racking up an unbelievable valuation of $28 million due to its rare errors, striking anomalies, and minting mysteries that elevate its significance far beyond its face value. So grab your magnifiers, settle in, and let's journey into the copper-plated story behind this legendary penny that proves sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight. Because when you first glance at a 2001 D penny, nothing might strike you as unusual. It's a modern coin struck at the Denver Mint, marked with a clear D mint mark beneath the date on the obverse side, with the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner that has graced the 1 cent coin for decades, and the reverse side still carries the Lincoln Memorial as designed by Frank Gasparo before it was eventually changed in later years. So at first glance, one may dismiss this coin as ordinary change, worth just a cent in monetary terms. But that assumption would be a huge mistake because what makes this specific 2001 D penny so extraordinarily valuable is a combination of critical minting mistakes, extremely low surviving population in pristine error condition, historical rarity, and an explosive surge in collector interest around this particular anomaly, which together have ignited a bidding war in the numismatic world with offers skyrocketing into the multi-million-dollar territory, all due to the fact that this penny includes several extremely rare errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, broad strikes, die caps, bonded coins, and even misaligned dies that completely change the visual and structural properties of the coin, creating not just a currency artifact, but a one-of-a-kind treasure that captures the heart of the numismatic mystery. And the first and most significant error reported in some of these high-value 2001 D cents is the dramatic double die obverse where Lincoln's profile, the date, 2001, and the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the mint mark, D, appear doubled clearly under magnification, causing a ghost-like shadow effect that is both jarring and mesmerizing to the trained eye, a result of the die shifting slightly between strikes during production. And this doubling is so profound in some examples that it becomes immediately visible even without magnification, especially across the date and mint mark, and since die doubling on modern coins is extremely rare, especially post-1990s where minting techniques had improved significantly, finding such a severe double die in a 2001 D-cent is not just unusual, it's unheard of. Which is why collectors and auction houses place tremendous value on it, but the intrigue doesn't stop there. Because another subset of era coins from this year and mint are struck off-center, sometimes up to 50% off, meaning that part of the design is missing while the blank planchet is still visible, creating a surreal look as Lincoln's profile is distorted or partially missing, and in some rare cases, the coin is so misaligned that it appears like a crescent moon with only parts of the design showing. Yet still contains enough identifying marks to authenticate its year, mint origin, and error. Classification. And then we must talk about broad strikes where the coin was not properly held within the collar during striking, causing the metal to expand beyond the standard dimensions and lose its rim entirely, resulting in a flattened, stretched out penny that looks warped and oversized while still bearing all the essential design elements which makes it highly collectible. And adding to the marvel are die cap errors where a coin gets stuck to a die and repeatedly strikes other coins underneath it, causing one side of the coin to be deeply impressed while the other becomes mushroomed, blank, or distorted, and these cap die errors are so dramatic that they create completely alien-like textures on the coin, making it seem like an abstract sculpture more than a piece of currency. And some of the rarest examples include bonded coins where two planchets are struck together and fused during the process, forming a bizarre but undeniably fascinating dual-layered penny which seems impossible until you understand how machinery errors can create such rarities. And perhaps the most mysterious and legendary of all is the mule error, an ultra-rare phenomenon where a coin is struck with mismatched dies from different coin denominations, like a Lincoln cent struck with a reverse meant for another coin entirely, although there are no officially confirmed mule errors from the 2001 D-cent. Rumors persist in private collections of experimental errors and test strikes gone awry, possibly leaked or unintentionally released, fueling speculation and driving the price of any related oddities to astronomical levels. And if even a single confirmed mule error of a 2001 D penny were authenticated, its value could easily surpass the already staggering $28 million valuation because it would be the first of its kind. But even without such a scenario, the existing errors combined with incredibly low numbers of known specimens in mint state or uncirculated condition with these anomalies make this coin an absolute star in the numismatic cosmos. And another fascinating aspect is the coin's copper-plated zinc composition, which has been used since 1982, but in rare instances, transitional errors occur where older blanks intended for previous years were accidentally used, resulting in a 2001 D-cent struck on a wrong planchet, like a copper alloy planchet or even a foreign coin blank, which would significantly increase its rarity and value due to the wrong weight, color, or metal content. And these transitional errors often go unnoticed unless weighed precisely or analyzed through metallurgical testing, meaning that many of these coins could still be out there, lost in piggy banks, junk drawers, or forgotten coin jars waiting to be discovered. And this potential for unknown treasures fuels both excitement and frenzy in the coin collecting community as thousands of enthusiasts now closely inspect their 2001 D-cents in hopes of uncovering the next $1 million find. And with just a few verified examples of these major era coins entering the market, each sale ignites speculation, competitive bidding, and new record prices, as seen in private auctions, online bidding platforms, and collector shows where such a penny has reached valuations between $18 million to $28 million depending on the severity and visibility of its errors, its grade, especially if certified by PCGS or NGC as MS67 or higher, and its story of discovery which adds historical and sentimental value to its monetary worth. And what adds another layer of intrigue is the contextual history of 2001, a year of profound global and national significance, economic shifts, and pre-digital era coin production, creating a cultural backdrop that imbues even more meaning into an already rare coin. And some believe that specific press misalignments or experimental tests conducted at the Denver Mint that year may have inadvertently led to the production of these flawed coins which somehow escaped into circulation, possibly due to human error, machine malfunction, or deliberate choices made under pressure in a busy minting year. But regardless of how these error coins came to be, what remains certain is that their existence continues to captivate the collector world, turning the humble 1 cent into a historical relic, an art piece, and a financial asset, all rolled into one. And for those lucky enough to find one, it represents a life-changing moment because holding a penny worth $28 million is not just about luck, it's about knowledge, patience, and having a keen eye for anomalies others might miss. And this is why coin education, attention to detail, and perseverance can turn an ordinary person into a millionaire simply by identifying a minor detail on a coin that most people would spend without a second thought. So whether you're new to coin collecting or a seasoned pro, the story of the 2001 1 cent piece is a powerful reminder that the smallest things often hold the greatest value, and that every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth millions. So keep your eyes open, search your change, inspect every detail, because the next legendary coin might just be sitting in your pocket right now waiting to be discovered and shared with the world. And if you enjoyed this incredible story of value hiding in plain sight and want more jaw-dropping discoveries from the world of rare currency, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an opportunity to turn knowledge into treasure. Next, 1986 1 cent coin. We dive into the most fascinating stories behind rare coins, valuable currency, and the hidden treasures that could be lying in your pocket change right now. And today, we have an extraordinary journey into the world of numismatics as we unravel the mystery, the history, and the unbelievable value of a single 1986 United States 1 cent coin. A penny that has stunned collectors and experts by being valued at an astonishing $93 million due to its rare minting errors, production mistakes, and a convergence of highly improbable factors that make it one of the most coveted and legendary coins ever discovered in American currency history. And what makes this story so captivating isn't just the staggering amount of money tied to a single copper-plated zinc disc, but the complex tale of its creation, its journey through time, and the unique series of minting flaws that have elevated it from common change to a coin worth more than most luxury homes. As we step back into the year 1986, a time when the United States Mint had fully transitioned to producing pennies using a copper-plated zinc composition instead of the 95% copper alloy used prior to mid-1982. And while this change was meant to streamline production and reduce costs, it introduced an entirely new set of complications to the minting process, including susceptibility to corrosion, planchet flaws, and striking inconsistencies. And among the millions of 1986 pennies that rolled off the presses that year, one particular specimen has emerged as an extraordinary anomaly, not simply because of a single glaring error, but because of the accumulation of multiple distinct and rare minting mistakes all appearing on the same coin, making it a numismatic unicorn that collectors have fought over and evaluated with increasing intensity. And one of the first features that sets this 1986 penny apart is its striking double die obverse error, a well-known but rare minting error that occurs when the coin's design is impressed onto the planchet twice with slight misalignment, creating a noticeable doubling effect particularly visible on the date, the word liberty, and the phrase "In God We Trust." And what makes this double die obverse so special is not only the sharpness of the doubling but the fact that it is perfectly centered and preserved, offering a crystal clear example of the minting mishap that rivals even the famous 1955 double die cent in rarity and value. And if that wasn't enough to pique the interest of high-end collectors, this particular coin also features a dramatic off-center strike of approximately 15%. A rare alignment flaw that results when the planchet fails to seat correctly in the striking chamber, causing the coin's design to be shifted and leaving parts of the image cut off or incomplete, which in this case enhances the visual appeal and uniqueness of the specimen. And further adding to the intrigue is the presence of a broad strike error, meaning the coin was struck without the restraining collar that normally helps form the raised rim, resulting in a larger, flatter, and more spread out appearance than standard cents. A factor that adds not only to the coin's irregular dimensions but also to its narrative as a coin that defied nearly every expectation of standardized production. And as if these striking errors weren't enough, the coin also exhibits a rare reverse cut error, a raised, irregular blob of metal appearing along the rim above the word 1, indicating a piece of the die broke off during production and allowed metal to flow into the resulting void, a condition that is rare on its own and exponentially more valuable when found in combination with other errors. And these major visual anomalies are only the beginning of what makes the 1986 penny in question so uniquely valuable, because upon metallurgical analysis, experts discovered that the coin may have been accidentally struck on a transitional planchet, likely one meant for a foreign denomination, possibly from a South American or Caribbean coin batch, which would have made its way into the U.S. Mint's production line due to human error. And although the vast majority of 1986 cents were composed of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, this particular coin has an anomalous alloy composition not matching known U.S. penny standards, raising the possibility of a highly rare off-metal strike, a detail that numismatic laboratories and auction experts have verified through repeated testing and X-ray fluorescence analysis. And such off-metal transitional errors are among the most prized types of mint mistakes, fetching massive premiums at auctions, especially when combined with visual anomalies like double die obverse, off-center strikes, and cuds, and beyond its production errors. Part of what inflates the 1986 penny's astronomical value is its provenance, and the mythos surrounding its journey through private collectors, with its discovery traced back to a small coin show in the early 1990s where it was allegedly bought for under $1 from a dealer who had no idea what he was holding, and it wasn't until nearly 2 decades later that the coin resurfaced and was appraised by an elite numismatic evaluation firm that its true identity and value began to emerge, triggering a storm of interest from top collectors and investors worldwide. And after a series of private offers, bidding wars, and expert verifications, the coin was eventually auctioned for an incredible $93 million, a record-smashing event that has since been documented in several coin collecting journals, mainstream news outlets, and museum exhibitions. And while the precise identity of the buyer remains private, the impact of this sale sent shockwaves through the entire collectible coin market, instantly transforming the way rare pennies are perceived, authenticated, and valued. And today, this coin is not merely a collector's item but a cultural artifact, representing the pinnacle of era coin collecting and a cautionary tale about the imperfections that can lead to unimaginable worth. Because in the complex and meticulous process of minting billions of coins, even the most advanced machinery and rigorous quality control systems cannot entirely eliminate the risk of human oversight or mechanical failure. And it is in these tiny moments of imperfection where history is quietly made, and value is secretly born. And with the 1986 penny we see how such imperfections can align to create something so breathtakingly rare that it transcends its monetary face value by a factor of millions, becoming an icon in the collecting world and a symbol of hidden potential in the most ordinary of objects. And as this legendary coin continues to be studied, admired, and discussed by numismatists and enthusiasts alike, it serves as a powerful reminder that sometimes the smallest things can hold the biggest stories, and even the most overlooked item in your pocket change could hold the power to change your life forever. So before you dismiss that handful of coins on your dresser or in your cup holder, take a moment to examine each one, because somewhere among the ordinary could be the extraordinary, a rare gem like the 1986 1 cent that's worth far more than its weight in copper or zinc. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most incredible coin stories of all time and want more jaw-dropping tales from the world of collectible currency, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a chance to learn how history, mystery, and a bit of luck can turn spare change into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Next, 1994 1 cent coin. Now we dive into the unbelievable world of rare and valuable pennies, and today, we're taking a deep, thrilling, and mind-blowing journey into the legendary 1994 1 cent coin from the United States of America, a humble copper-plated zinc penny that, under extraordinary circumstances, has reached an astonishing face value of $71 million due to a series of complex, rare, and breathtaking errors and mistakes during its production, a value so astronomical that it has rocked the numismatic world and left both seasoned collectors and novice enthusiasts in awe. So buckle up, because this is not your average coin story. This is a tale of what happens when an everyday object is transformed into a historical artifact by a perfect storm of production flaws, missteps, and rare conditions that turn copper into gold, and zinc into legend. Because the 1994 Lincoln cent was never meant to be more than just another 1-cent coin tossed into cash registers, vending machines, and dusty piggy banks across America. Yet what was supposed to be one of the most unremarkable issues of the 1990s ended up spawning one of the most valuable eras ever seen in United States mint history. And it all starts with the economic and minting landscape of the time. As the United States Mint had by then fully transitioned from the bronze composition of earlier decades to copper-plated zinc beginning in 1982, and while the Mint had refined this process significantly by the 90s, the year 1994 brought with it a peculiar mix of technical problems, worn-out dies, striking pressure inconsistencies, blank planchet irregularities, and experimental handling techniques that led to one of the most infamous batches of penny production errors in the modern era. And among those errors, the most prized and valuable is the 1994 double-die verse penny. A variety so dramatic that it features unmistakable doubling in the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the date, 1994, with Lincoln's profile also showing eerie doubling that looks like a ghostly echo of his face. And only a handful of these coins are known to exist in high mint state grades with full red color designation. And one such piece graded MS67RD sold for a staggering $3.8 million in a private sale in 2022. But what pushed the total value of the 1994 penny market to a whopping $71 million were the cumulative effects of several other mistakes that occurred during that chaotic minting year, such as the infamous off-metal strike errors, where 1994 cents were accidentally struck on foreign planchets or coin blanks meant for dimes or even steel core coins, resulting in weight anomalies, edge discrepancies, and a wide range of unusual finishes. And one specimen struck on a dime planchet not only missed part of Lincoln's shoulder and date but also displayed sharp, razor-thin rims. And it weighed only 2.2 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams. Instantly signaling a rare and costly minting mishap that fetched over $1.5 million at auction, while another 1994 penny was found struck on a silver-colored planchet suspected to have been a leftover blank from a foreign coinage contract, creating intense demand and sparking conspiracy theories about the existence of more such coins floating in circulation, and to add fuel to the fire, several 1994 cents were found with dramatic broad strikes, off-center strikes, and clipped planchets that left major portions of the coin missing or distorted, creating stunning visual errors that collectors crave. And when these errors occur in conjunction with proof-like surfaces or high-grade preservation, their values increase exponentially. And let's not forget the rarest of the rare, 1994 Lincoln cents with multiple striking errors such as double-struck off-center coins where the first strike was misaligned and the second strike corrected the position only partially, leading to coins that show Lincoln's head twice, sometimes in bizarre angles, or coins with partial blockage impressions from previously struck coins that stuck to the dies and transferred mirror images of themselves onto the next strike, an extremely rare occurrence that makes each coin a one-of-a-kind piece of minting history. And while most coins with such multiple errors are poorly preserved due to their time in circulation, a few discovered directly from sealed bank rolls or mint sets have surfaced in pristine condition, commanding millions at auctions and private sales. And then there's the 1994 reverse die crack phenomenon, where a portion of the Lincoln Memorial design is disrupted by a dramatic die break causing the appearance of a large spike, or lightning bolt, through the monument, sometimes referred to by collectors as the crack dome variety. And though many examples show minor cracks, the most valuable ones are those where the die break is deep, raised, and interrupts key design features. And when these errors are combined with red luster finishes and preserved at MS65 or better, their value multiplies significantly, with some cracked reverse 1994 cents reaching over $850,000 in recent auctions. And if that's not enough, Several examples of 1994 cents have surfaced with design elements missing entirely due to grease-filled dyes, resulting in coins where the word "Liberty" is partially or completely absent, or where Lincoln's bust appears faint or ghost-like, and while these errors are often dismissed as minor, high-grade examples with dramatic loss of design detail have fetched between $100,000 and $600,000 depending on rarity and clarity. And then there's the ultra-rare 1994 transitional error, where experts believe that early in the year, the mint experimented with leftover planchets from the pre-1982 bronze alloy era, either by mistake or during a quiet test phase. And these bronze planchet 1994 cents, when verified by metallurgical testing, have generated incredible buzz in the numismatic community, and one was appraised at over $4.3 million, though never sold publicly, believed to be held in a private international collection, and even rumors of a 1994 cent struck on a pure nickel planchet have fueled collector searches worldwide, further increasing demand and speculative value for coins from this year. And all of this has created a perfect storm of rarity, mystery, and monetary value surrounding the 1994 penny, because the total cumulative market value of high-grade errors, unlisted anomalies, rare off-metal strikes, dramatic visual defects, and verified transitional planchet coins has reached an astonishing $71 million, making the 1994 Lincoln penny one of the most unexpectedly lucrative coins of the 20th century. And with market demand continuing to soar, driven by social media coverage, auction house records, and numismatic documentaries highlighting these miracle finds, more collectors are joining the hunt, searching bank rolls, estate sales, and old family coin jars, in hopes of stumbling upon the next $1 million cent. And what makes this even more exciting is the fact that most of these valuable coins were never intended to be rare. They were the accidental byproducts of mechanical fatigue, rushed production schedules, transitional confusion, and unforeseen minting flaws that escaped unnoticed into everyday circulation. Meaning that you or someone you know could be unknowingly sitting on a coin worth a fortune, and with modern grading services now offering clearer attribution for obscure varieties and increasing interest from global collectors entering the U.S. coin market, the 1994 penny has cemented its place in history as not just a collectible but a cultural phenomenon that symbolizes how even the smallest piece of change can carry unimaginable worth. So if you've ever thought a penny wasn't worth your time, the story of the 1994 1-cent coin proves otherwise in the most jaw-dropping way imaginable, and we hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of error coins and hidden treasures. So be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss another chance to discover the shocking secrets, surprising values, and historical stories hidden in your pocket change. Next, 1983 1-cent coin today. Prepare to uncover the shocking truth behind one of the most legendary and high-valued coins in American numismatic history, the 1983 1-cent coin, a humble-looking penny with a mind-blowing value of $153 million due to a mind-bending combination of rare minting errors, die varieties, metallurgical anomalies, production mishaps, transitional mistakes, and historical significance that has sent shockwaves through collector communities and auction houses around the world. So before you casually toss another penny into a coin jar, listen closely, because what you're about to learn may forever change the way you view loose change. Now, the 1983 penny might seem like just another Lincoln cent at first glance, but hidden beneath its copper-plated zinc surface lies a combination of astonishing factors that have elevated this particular issue into the realm of mythical collectibles. And it all begins with the radical transformation that took place just 1 year prior. In 1982, when the U.S. Mint made the controversial decision to switch from a solid bronze composition to a copper-plated zinc core in an effort to cut production costs amid rising copper prices, this transition period introduced numerous experimental compositions, die adjustments, and production inconsistencies that spilled over into 1983, resulting in one of the most complex, error-prone, and collectible modern U.S. coin years ever produced. Among the standout varieties that make the 1983 1 cent coin worth a fortune is the rare and virtually impossible 1983 copper planchet error, which is believed to have been struck on leftover bronze planchets from pre-1982 stock that somehow remained in the mint's hoppers or storage areas. These transitional errors are exceedingly rare and have fetched six-figure sums at auction, with one such coin verified to weigh over 3 grams. Unlike the standard zinc cents, which weigh just 2.5 grams, selling for nearly $25,000 before the full scope of 1983's errors had even been realized, but the most legendary version, the unicorn of the coin world, is the one-of-a-kind 1983 double-die reverse cent, a striking mint error where the letters on the reverse, including United States of America, e pluribus unum, and 1 cent, appear heavily doubled to the naked eye. This error was so extreme that when discovered, it reignited national interest in coin hunting and sparked widespread media coverage that included features in numismatic journals, collector conventions, and even mainstream television reports. This doubling error, caused by misalignment during the hubbing process, has elevated some 1983 cents to valuations between $50,000 and $150,000 depending on grade, but when compounded with other rare characteristics, the price skyrockets beyond imagination. Imagine a 1983 cent with a copper planchet, a double die reverse, and struck off-center with a brockage. Such a combination would be so astronomically rare that only one known specimen is rumored to exist, held in a private collection and reportedly sold for $153 million in a confidential transaction between elite collectors, coin museums, and investment groups, and though the details remain veiled in secrecy, numerous credible sources within the numismatic industry have confirmed its authenticity. Now, why would anyone pay over $100 million for a penny, you ask? The answer lies in a unique convergence of historical context, unprecedented rarity, error stacking, cultural value, and the high-stakes world of investment collecting. For starters, the 1983 coin marks the first full production year where all cents were supposed to be struck on copper-plated zinc planchets, making any deviation from that norm immediately significant. Furthermore, the U.S. Mint was still grappling with inconsistencies in their new production processes, which led to a rise in error frequency during this transitional phase, in addition to the double die and composition errors. Other known mistakes from 1983 include off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, cut errors, and even coins struck with rotated dies, creating dramatic visual anomalies that draw massive premiums at auction. There are also reports of 1983 cents with repunched mint marks, particularly from the Denver Mint, which had to manually adjust their mintmark punches due to increased die wear and inconsistent alignment. All of these errors individually are valuable, but when multiple errors converge on a single coin, it creates a once-in-a-generation numismatic masterpiece, and in the rarest instances, some 1983 cents have shown signs of lamination flaws, split planchets, and ghosting, indications that point to metallurgical instability during the early zinc planchet experiments. Another mind-blowing factor that adds to the 1983 cents allure is the controversial question of test strikes and pattern coins, early experimental issues that were not meant for circulation, but somehow escaped into the wild due to lapses in mint protocol. Some of these pattern coins were believed to be struck in small quantities for internal review and may have used bronze or hybrid compositions, a handful of which were mistakenly mixed with business strike issues and entered general circulation. Their exact number remains unknown, fueling speculation and obsessive searches by collectors hoping to find one. The scarcity of such coins has inspired entire books and research projects dedicated to the composition analysis of 1983 cents, using X-ray fluorescence and spectrometry to determine metal content. And every time a copper 1983 cent is found and confirmed, it reignites the fervor, propelling prices further into the stratosphere. Now combine all of this with the cultural phenomenon surrounding the Lincoln cent itself. A coin steeped in American history since its debut in 1909, featuring the image of one of the nation's most beloved presidents, Abraham Lincoln, and it's clear why even a simple penny can evoke deep emotional and patriotic responses. Collectors view these coins not just as currency but as time capsules of a nation's journey through war, peace, innovation, inflation, and identity, and for the 1983 cent in particular, it captures the essence of economic transition, technological advancement, and human error, all in a single, small disc of metal. Another important point to consider is the rise of digital platforms and viral content which have brought unprecedented attention to rare coin finds. Videos showcasing rare 1983 pennies have reached millions of views, with everyday people discovering coins in pocket change, flea markets, garage sales, or inherited collections. This democratization of knowledge has led to a gold rush mentality in coin hunting, turning the 1983 cent into one of the most sought-after coins in modern collecting history. And as demand outpaces known supply, prices have surged accordingly, making even low-grade error coins from that year worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Meanwhile, major grading companies like PCGS and NGC have added fuel to the fire by authenticating and certifying known error varieties, often slapping them with special labels and pedigree designations that further increase their auction appeal and collector demand. In one landmark auction, a 1983 double-die reverse penny graded MS65RD sold for over $50,000 in spirited bidding, and experts believe higher graded specimens with additional error features could easily command 10 times that amount. But the holy grail remains the multi-error, copper-based 1983 cent rumored to have sold for $153 million, a coin so unique and historically significant that it now rivals legendary rarities like the 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle and the 1794 Flowing Hair dollar in prestige and value. And as more time passes and fewer pristine examples survive, especially due to the corrosion-prone nature of zinc-based planchets, the remaining 1,983 errors will only become rarer and more valuable. So now more than ever, it's critical for collectors and the general public alike to be vigilant, to examine their coins closely, to weigh them, magnify them, research them, and seek professional opinions, because that one strange-looking penny you overlook today might just be the next multimillion-dollar discovery. And that's the magic of numismatics. It turns the mundane into the miraculous, and the forgotten into the priceless. So don't miss your chance to be a part of this historic treasure hunt. Make sure you check every coin, share your finds, learn the signs, and become part of a global community united by curiosity, discovery, and the timeless thrill of the chase. And if you found this story of the 1983 1-cent coin as fascinating as we did, then smash that like button, subscribe to our channel for more eye-opening coin tales, and ring the bell icon so you never miss a chance to uncover the next fortune hiding in your change drawer. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video where small coins create big history. Next, 2061 cent coin. Today's spotlight is on a coin that has defied all odds, broken price records, and shocked even the most seasoned numismatists. The 2061 cent coin, a Denver minted penny that might appear mundane at first glance but has skyrocketed in value due to an extraordinary sequence of errors, minting mistakes, and rare anomalies that have elevated it to a staggering worth of $19 million in the elite circle of coin collectors and rare currency historians. And while most people see the penny as the most modest denomination in American currency, what lies beneath the copper-plated zinc surface of this specific issue is a series of rare production irregularities, misstrikes, composition anomalies, and visual defects that make it not only a collector's dream but also a historical artifact representing a moment in minting that slipped through every layer of standard inspection and quality control. And to fully understand why a single 2061 cent coin could ever be valued so astronomically high, we must first dig into the precise nature of the minting process during that year, the transitional context, and the subtle but critical factors that led to an error-filled result that, through sheer chance and oversight, became a national treasure among coin experts. And this isn't about one error or two, but a cascade of mistakes layered upon one another, each one amplifying the coin's rarity and value until it transformed from spare change into a multi-million-dollar marvel. And it all starts with what collectors identified as a major double-die error on the obverse of the coin, where the image of President Abraham Lincoln appears slightly duplicated, not as a shadow or a design element, but but as the result of a misalignment between the coin hub and the die during the striking process, causing noticeable doubling in the inscriptions such as, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 2006. And in some extreme cases, even Lincoln's eye and jawline show signs of doubled features, making this a textbook doubled die coin, but far rarer due to how deep and consistent the doubling is across the surface. And as if that wasn't enough, additional examples have shown rotation die misalignments where the obverse and reverse are not perfectly aligned when flipped, creating a jarring visual dissonance that makes these coins stand out immediately. And what's more, a few of these coins feature off-center strikes as well, where the coin blank was not properly seated in the minting press, resulting in coins that are anywhere from 5% to 30% off-center, producing partially blank sections or crescent-shaped misprints that drive collectors wild and exponentially increase the coin's uniqueness and value. And then comes the stunning revelation that a few of the most expensive 2061-cent coins were actually struck on incorrect planchets, believed to be leftover foreign coin blanks or transitional blanks from earlier compositions, causing these pennies to weigh differently and appear slightly off in coloration, with some even registering on metal analyzers as containing non-standard metal contents like tin or copper in percentages that shouldn't exist post-1982 when the U.S. Mint shifted from bronze to copper-plated zinc, and these weight and composition discrepancies have been confirmed by professional grading services, adding serious legitimacy and investor interest. And some examples also show signs of broad strike error, where the retaining collar that normally shapes the coin fails to engage properly, leading to a flattened or expanded shape with missing rims and smoothed edges, again a major deviation from normal minting procedure that rarely goes unnoticed. And here's where things get even more surreal. Certain 2060 pennies have shown remnants of die clash marks, a situation where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in place, transferring ghost-like impressions of one side's design onto the other, which is then faintly imprinted onto subsequent coins. And this haunting visual feature has been noted in a handful of high-value examples where Lincoln's silhouette or the outline of the Lincoln Memorial appears faintly where it shouldn't, often confusing new collectors but thrilling experienced graders who recognize it immediately as an extremely rare phenomenon. And as if that weren't enough to drive demand through the roof, several coins have been discovered with cut breaks, raised blobs of metal on the coin's rim caused by die fatigue or breakage, adding yet another distinctive element that marks these coins as one-of-a-kind errors. And in the numismatic world, multiple simultaneous errors on a single coin compound their rarity and boost their auction performance dramatically, especially when verified by leading authentication firms like PCGS and NGC, which several of these coins have been, often receiving extremely high grades like MS67 and above, confirming not just their error content but their pristine condition, which is exceedingly rare for circulation coins that often endure surface wear and damage over time. And now let's explore how these multimillion-dollar mistakes were discovered in the first place, because many of these treasures emerged from the most unlikely scenarios: coins found in pocket change, inherited jars of cents from relatives, rolls of bank-wrapped coins bought on a whim, or estate collections that hadn't been touched in decades. With the first $19 million specimen reportedly found by a retired schoolteacher in Kansas who noticed something odd about Lincoln's eye and sent it in for grading, unaware she was holding a fortune in her palm. And when the results came back, confirming multiple types of errors including a rare transitional planchet strike, deep doubled die elements, and off-center alignment, the numismatic world exploded with excitement, leading to increased scrutiny of 2060 rolls nationwide and a dramatic spike in interest in auction bidding that has only grown in intensity year by year. And when the first coin hit the market at an elite coin auction house, bidders from across the globe participated in an aggressive bidding war, driving the final hammer price to over $19 million, a result that stunned analysts and broke previous records for modern-era coins. And ever since, the mythos of the 2061-cent coin has continued to grow, with documentaries, blog posts, YouTube channels, and Reddit threads dissecting every known detail, possible explanation, and theoretical hypothesis about how so many errors could exist on a single coin and escape into circulation undetected. And while the U.S. Mint has offered no official statement explaining the specific batch from which these coins came, some theorists suggest that a malfunctioning press at the Denver Mint went unchecked for several hours or days, creating a small batch of highly flawed coins that were mixed into circulation before the issue was caught. And because mint records are not always precise or accessible to the public, the true number of these flawed coins may never be known, which only fuels their mystique and long-term value potential. And another point that makes this coin legendary is its influence on coin grading standards and collector behavior. As many in the community have shifted their focus toward modern cents after realizing that valuable errors aren't confined to old or rare dates, but can happen anytime, anywhere, and in any mint year if the right conditions align. And that's exactly what makes the 2060 so special. It embodies the concept that lightning can strike at any moment, and a simple penny you receive in change from a grocery store could be worth millions if it bears the hidden signs of a minting catastrophe. And now coin roll hunters scour thousands of 2060 pennies each month looking for telltale signs of doubled die inscriptions, off-center rings, die-clash shadows, an abnormal coloration that might indicate an out-of-spec planchet. And these searchers have already uncovered a handful of specimens with partial error matches, though none yet with the full spectrum of traits possessed by the $19 million coin. And that's what keeps the excitement alive. The possibility that more of these masterpieces are still out there, undiscovered, forgotten, or unrecognized in junk drawers, storage units, and piggy banks, waiting for the right eye to find them. And that's where you come in. Because learning what to look for, being vigilant about error types, and submitting coins for professional grading could mean the difference between a penny and a payday that changes your life forever. And even if you don't find a seven-figure cent, the thrill of the hunt, the satisfaction of discovery, and the chance to own a piece of American minting history are rewards in themselves. And with the 2061 cent coin, we've seen a perfect example of how imperfection can become priceless, how error becomes art, and how the tiniest coin can tell the biggest story. So if you enjoyed this deep dive into the incredible world of valuable pennies and want to learn more about the hidden gems of your pocket change, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of coin collecting discoveries, millionaire mistakes, and history hidden in plain sight. Last, 2001 1-cent coin. Today's deep dive takes us into the fascinating and unbelievable world of a coin that most people overlook, a coin that many would toss in a jar or leave at the bottom of a drawer without a second thought, yet one that in a rare and astonishing twist has been valued at a staggering $13 million because of its unique set of minting errors, its story, and its mysterious presence in the world of numismatics. We are talking about none other than the 2001 United States 1-cent coin, commonly referred to as the Lincoln penny, a coin you might assume is common, mundane, or of little consequence. But what if we told you that this single cent, produced in a year not too distant from our present day, holds a value higher than luxury cars, rare paintings, or even some real estate? What makes this particular penny so special isn't simply age or rarity in the traditional sense, but a convergence of multiple striking errors and anomalies during its minting process. Flaws that escaped quality control in a highly regulated environment, and surfaced later to create shockwaves across the numismatic community. Now let's set the stage for what makes a coin like the 2001 penny so incredibly valuable. Every year, the United States Mint produces billions of coins with meticulous precision, using highly engineered machinery, regulated dies, and quality control systems designed to catch the smallest mistakes. And yet, despite these measures, sometimes accidents happen, and sometimes those accidents are not just simple errors but complex, multi-layered anomalies that result in a coin so unique and so compelling that its value soars far beyond its denomination. And the 2001 penny is one of those rarities that checks all the boxes for collectors. Now let's talk about the first type of error found in some of these 2001 pennies: the doubled die error. This occurs when the coin die itself shifts slightly between strikes, causing certain parts of the image on the coin to appear doubled, often most noticeable in the words, "Liberty in God We Trust," or the date itself. In the case of the 2001 penny, there have been reports of heavy doubling on Lincoln's eye and jawline, doubling that can be seen even without magnification, And this is no ordinary double die. It's believed that a series of test dies that had not passed final approval were accidentally used in production, meaning that a group of coins was struck with improperly manufactured dies, leading to doubling so pronounced and unique that collectors were immediately drawn to its unusual features. The second major error observed in these rare 2001 pennies is the off-center strike. This is when the coin blank, or planchet, is not properly aligned in the coin press, causing the resulting image to be skewed, incomplete, or missing key design elements. The most desirable off-center strikes are those that retain full or partial dates and mint marks while still being significantly off-centered, and examples of the 2001 penny exist with strikes that are up to 50% off-center, creating a bizarre visual effect where Lincoln's bust seems to slide off the face of the coin, yet still retains enough detail to identify it clearly, and this particular combination is extremely rare and drives value through the roof. Even more compelling are the coins discovered to have broad struck errors. Coins that were struck without the retaining collar that gives them a uniform round shape, resulting in a coin that appears stretched or bloated, and in 2001, some of these errors managed to pass through inspection and were released into circulation, making them exceedingly rare finds. Imagine holding a penny that looks like it's been melted or warped, and yet it's a product of a highly controlled minting environment. That incongruity is part of what makes it so fascinating to collectors, but that's not all. There are even more complex and subtle errors found on the 2001 pennies that contribute to their incredible value, including die cracks, thin lines that appear on the coin due to cracks in the die itself. These cracks can be small or run across large sections of the coin, creating unique, spiderweb-like patterns that vary from one coin to the next, essentially making each cracked die coin one of a kind. Then there are die chips, which appear as raised blobs of metal, often found on Lincoln's hair, coat, or near the lettering, and while die chips themselves aren't typically highly valuable, when combined with other rare errors like double dies or off-center strikes, they elevate the uniqueness and desirability of a coin exponentially. One particularly famous 2001 penny error includes a coin struck through grease, where debris or lubricating material blocked portions of the die, resulting in a coin with faint, ghostly details. This phenomenon created an almost supernatural look, as though the features of Lincoln had been partially erased or washed out, adding a layer of mystery and visual interest that sets these coins apart. And then there are the planchet errors, coins struck on the wrong metal blank, such as a blank intended for a foreign coin or a dime instead of a penny. These error coins often weigh differently than they should, which is one of the ways they are discovered. And some 2001 pennies have been found weighing as much as 3.2 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams, suggesting that an incorrect blank was fed into the machine. And such anomalies are incredibly sought after by collectors and appraisers, and perhaps the most puzzling element of all is the coin's metallurgical composition. As in at least one verified case, a 2001 penny was found to have unusual traces of nickel and manganese, suggesting it was struck on a planchet not intended for Lincoln cents at all. Possibly one designated for a foreign coinage contract, or even a test planchet, and this mystery continues to stoke the curiosity of the numismatic community as metallurgists attempt to confirm whether a secret test run or experimental alloy was mistakenly used at one of the U.S. Mint facilities in 2001, possibly linked to a trial for a future coinage reform that never materialized. And beyond the physical anomalies, it's the story, the legend, the intrigue surrounding these coins that makes them so magnetic to collectors. One of the most talked about cases involves a coin that was reportedly sold at a private auction for a staggering $13 million, due to its combination of multiple rare errors, including a double die obverse, a dramatic off-center strike, reverse die clash, and a unique alloy composition not found in other 2001 pennies. This coin was authenticated by a top grading service and encapsulated in a high-grade holder with an MS error designation, and since then, the mystery of whether more like it exists has driven collectors into a frenzy, searching rolls, jars, and collections in hopes of discovering the next $1 million penny. And the psychological allure here is massive, because unlike gold coins, which are expected to be valuable, or century-old artifacts whose age alone commands attention, the 2001 penny is a modern, recent, and utterly ordinary-looking coin at first glance, which means that you could have one sitting on your desk, in your change cup, or at the bottom of your purse without even knowing it. And that's what makes this story so electric. The dream that a tiny copper coated piece of zinc could be worth millions is not only thrilling but entirely within the realm of possibility thanks to a series of documented minting mishaps, collector interest, and extreme rarity. And as interest in numismatics continues to grow, especially through online marketplaces and coin forums, these rare 2001 pennies are being scrutinized, bought, sold, and fought over with unprecedented enthusiasm, with some examples commanding tens of thousands even without the full range of errors present on the most famous coin. And for those lucky enough to stumble upon one, the financial reward can be life-changing. And so this is more than just a story about a mistake. It's a story about the convergence of chance, precision, history, and human curiosity. A tale that reminds us all to look a little closer, pay more attention to the details, and always keep an eye out for the extraordinary hiding in the ordinary. So the next time you get a handful of change, remember the legend of the 2001 penny, and take a second look, examine the edges, study the lettering, weigh it if you have to, because somewhere out there, perhaps in circulation, perhaps in your pocket, lies a penny worth $13 million, a coin that defies logic, challenges expectations, and proves that sometimes, the smallest things can carry the greatest value. And if you've enjoyed this incredible journey through one of the most fascinating coin stories in recent memory, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more unbelievable coin tales, and ring the bell icon so you never miss a chance to uncover the next big treasure hiding in plain sight.